welcome to Tech Shredder Radio. I'm your host, Mark Berger. Today's guest is someone that I've kind of looked forward to in my IT career ever since I started in IT. He's a super innovative guy. He leads an industry information sharing group called Roadhouse. He's got experience in a wide range of topics in technology, including technology infrastructure consulting, security audit work, forensics, including incident response. He works with law enforcement, including the FBI, on a regular basis, and currently serves as the VP of Big Data Analytics and also the manager of the Fraud Center of Excellence at Zions Bancorp, which is located in Utah. If he works from home, I'm actually joining our guest today in his home office, which is near Rosholt, Wisconsin. He's in his long johns and cut-off flannel, of course. No, maybe not. He regularly travels the world presenting to industry conferences to help other people that are in similar roles to him. Our guest today is John Omernik. John, I'm glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Well, let's jump right in. Before we get into the big specifics on big data and some of the things that you do, can you just give us a high level on what you do in your current role?
Sure. My role at Zions Bank is really to be focused on external threats that are targeting our customers. And what that means is when grandma's computer gets a virus that might affect her online banking, our goal is to use our data and our processes to try to identify that she's at risk and develop a process that goes from there and says, all right, we're going to call grandma, explain to her the risk, lock the account, make sure no money moves out, and then from there, get her into a state where she's not at risk anymore. We use a lot of different technologies, a lot of different tools to do that. But fundamentally, it all comes down to this idea of big data.
Awesome. So what does big data enable you to do in your current role?
So I think before you can really get into that question, we really have to define out big data. And what does it mean? It is definitely an industry standard buzzword right now, which is very annoying to many of us who actually are doing big data.
It's number two only to cloud.
Right. And then when you do big data in the cloud, you just win everything.
Right.
No, my personal take on big data is it isn't a technology. It's not Hadoop or it's not Spark or it's not one of those other technologies. It's not a size of your data. I mean, size really doesn't matter in this case. Really, it's how you use it. And what that comes down to is big data is a mentality. That mentality is no longer the old paradigm of what do we need to store and will it be valuable in the future, because that decision can never be made. You cannot sit around in a conference room with a bunch of project managers and identify every piece of data that your organization, whether it's for threat modeling or threat response or for business decisions, you can't identify what's going to be valuable tomorrow. It's just impossible. Big data gets us out of those stupid meetings that I want to take everything. I want to store as much as I can with no limitations. And I don't want to be told, well, that's going to cost X number of dollars if you store that piece of data. I just want to be able to use everything and use it well. And then get that data into the hands of really smart people who can help us change how we think about business decisions or threat decisions or anything within the organization. So that is how we at Zions Bank and throughout different communities that I take part of look at big data. And what that means is we have a new way of being very proactive on the threats that face our company and our customers.
Great. Now, sitting here, I talked a little bit to you about the design of your infrastructure that you've got in place for handling big data. Do you want to just talk through that a little bit?
Sure. So, like I said previously, big data is just having ability to never say no. So does that mean using a single technology? Not really. What it means is having all of the tools that you could use in any given situation. Basically having a full toolbox so that when you need to go do your carpentry, you have everything you need right there. For us at Zions Bank, that means using Hadoop. Hadoop been around for a while. We've had it in production now for about 5 years. This allows us to store terabytes of data. Right now, I think our cluster is up to 350 terabytes of total space. We run that on, I believe we're at about 16 or 17 different nodes. And we put everything on that structure. We have everything from web server logs to DNS logs to application logs to proxy logs. We have transactions from the financial side. We have everything. Anything we can put in there, we do. We have full emails. So we can look at the text and headers of every email in the last X number of days so that we can just do data scientist type approaches to mining out what's valuable, to stopping spam, stopping threats, stopping fraudulent attacks that come from fraudsters who are trying to email our bankers, for example. In addition to this Hadoop infrastructure with Hive as the data store, we also run MongoDB. We also use PostgreSQL. A lot of people don't realize that you can use like a traditional database as part of big data, but in reality you can, because it's all about the tool that's right for the job. So MongoDB, we use a lot of different open programming languages like Ruby and Python. And fundamentally it's about having a open architecture that's flexible for allowing us to make a change when we need to.
I think you're getting a little bit into my next question. You mentioned a lot of different specific technologies: Hadoop, Mango, Ruby, Python. I'm sure
Mango's what I have for lunch, Mark. Actually, Mongo.
Mongo. Thanks for the correction. Hey, it's tomato, whatever. I don't know. Anywho, so can you talk us a little bit through the decision process that you went in looking for these tools, and what I guess characteristics you look for when you're finding a qualified tool to use in your infrastructure?
So the driver that brought us into doing Hadoop for our security data warehouse was 5 years ago. We were in a situation where our security event log vendor we needed to expand it. We needed to add storage, and we needed to add a replicated system so that if we had a DR incident, we had this product in both data centers. To do that, the cost from the vendor would have been over $1 million. And at that time, that was a lot of money. We decided to explore this Hadoop option, and we ended up putting in a system that had about 4 times the storage space in both data centers for about $125,000 total cost. So we're talking about 1/10 of the cost that we would have gotten from a vendor solution, and we had the ability to put in much more data and to expand linearly. That's one of the things about Hadoop specifically that's a really neat thing, is that if you want to add more computation, you want to add more storage, you just add nodes. You don't have to worry about licensing, or if I add more, is this going to cause all the database to fall apart because it's too big? No, you just add more and it works. So we put that into place. We had a few bumps and bruises, but this was a proof of concept. Well, our proof of concept worked so well on the information security side that our fraud started getting rolled into too, and we started getting huge wins in how we could prevent the fraud. Every time we got a win and saved thousands of dollars against threats against us or against our customers, we got more notice in the organization. Now we've expanded to a role, and we're actually doing Hadoop and this big data mentality for data projects that are directly impacting business lines, not just information security or threat type model.
So your groups kind of set the model for the other parts of the organization.
Correct.
And the decision, I suppose at some point in time, somebody looking at this from a high level had to decide, and I think this is a common decision in organizations: do we hire this out to a vendor and have it be a canned solution that we pay a vendor for, or do we stick the dollars in-house, get some sharp people on it and do it? Can you talk a little bit about that? Or maybe, I know you're going to have a good response to this one, but the advantages of having the people in-house managing the system instead of just relying on a third party to take care of it.
So fundamentally, a vendor has to develop a product that is cost effective for them to sell and make money on. What that means from a approach perspective is they have to really come up with a product that meets 80% of the needs for 80% of the potential customers, because that allows them to sell the most of their product as possible. When you're trying to do something internally for your own network and for your own systems, you want to completely understand the threats, the systems, and all the different widgets that occur within your organization and your network. Well, to do that, you're going to need passionate, smart people who truly understand the network. And that's a really hard thing for corporate IT departments to swallow. They would much rather pay a vendor because the thought process there is, well, if I have an employee leave, then we can always go back to the vendor. And that's a fair statement. However, the risk there is one that is often talked about but never realized. Because if somebody were to leave, let's say who are running a vendor product, the institutional knowledge would still be walking out the door. You can go to the vendor, but they're going to charge you money to have somebody come sit at your location and be your stand-in until you can hire a new person.
And there'll always be something lost in that scenario.
Yes, right? And yes, you're always going to lose something. They're not going to know your network. They might know the product, but they're not going to know your network.
So does your team have good retention?
Yes, we have extremely good retention. And the reason that's the case is because the senior vice president in charge of our area basically made a statement out of the gate saying, our goal is to retain the best people, and we're going to create an environment that allows them to work from home, that's going to pay them a fair wage and make a really fun place to work, kind of the Google mentality. Now, we are a bank, so we can't really come up with like dinosaur skeletons in the courtyard of our lunchrooms. But the environment to work is really good. We have a lot of smart people, a lot of really good ideas, a lot of fun things to work on. And at the end of the day, feel pretty good about the work that we did.
So you said you put this infrastructure in 5 years ago, and I think that as time goes on, you're constantly kind of changing and adapting to new things that come out. So how did you go through the process of learning all this? I mean, did you read books, or course material? Did you learn from somebody else?
So for me, data personally has always been a component of whatever I've done. Whether that's been infrastructure consulting, working infrastructure at a bank, whether it's been security consulting or even working security at a bank. I've gone through a lot of different positions in my career. There's always been a component of data. Like, how can we understand the data that underlies what's happening? So that's always been an interest to me, but I've never considered myself a data scientist. When I had the opportunity to go work at Zions, they had already implemented Hadoop. So I was not the initial implementer, but I came on right between 6 and 9 months after they had implemented. And when I did, I basically got thrown into the fire on how to do it. And then once I understood the value, because I was working with a working system, I took it upon myself to sit at home, to create my own cluster with my own needs so that I could really understand the nuts and the bolts of how to get it implemented.
So you just took it on yourself to figure it out,
yep.
Do it, throw it in the fire. I think that's the best way to learn a lot of the times, honestly. Sometimes I get accused of kind of throwing stuff at people that are in my classes, but the point is it's like, welcome to the field. This is how it works.
Yep.
Especially if you want to be in an innovative, fun kind of atmosphere, though that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, if you want to do a field that's not changing, be an accountant.
Right.
If you want to be in a field that's going to be changing all the time, you have to keep you on your toes and learning, then IT might be right for you.
Can you talk about, with all this infrastructure that you've got, I'm sure it's quite a task to manage all of it. Can you talk about change management and documentation? I feel like this is sometimes overlooked by a lot of people in the field, especially, sharp people entering the IT field. They know the technology, they get it, they're fast learners, they just want to get it done, and they don't want to be bogged down by change management or documentation, some of these things that are important.
Mm-hmm. So that's often the case when you're dealing with people who are very self-contained thinkers. They understand the process from start to end, but that's not always going to work in an enterprise environment because there's going to be times when vacations or different job responsibilities, you have to have somebody be able to stand in and address the issue. So there has to be shared knowledge. However, the way most IT shops in corporate America have addressed this problem is very, very wrong, in my opinion. Basically, they've said, we're going to put as much rigor around the process as we can and make it hard to make undocumented changes, to make changes in general, so that we can make sure that every change that happens on the network is fully understood. Well, that's well and good, but IT environments are living environments, basically. They're always changing.
That kind of thing, in my opinion, that kind of stuff scares the innovative, super sharp people away because they feel like they're getting bogged down, and it's like, get me the hell out of here.
It also scares the people away, but it scares innovation away, too. Because you cannot be, like, working in a threat-based environment like we do for our security data warehouse, you can't be nimble and responsive to threats. Criminals who are trying to target institutions or try to target customers of the institutions, they don't have change management meetings where they sit around going, well, if we make this change, our botnet might go down. And they don't do that. They act more like the Silicon Valley startups. They're nimble. They can move around. They have some money from their last criminal endeavor, and they're going to do some investment in their next piece of infrastructure to make more money. They are fast movers. Big corporations, we move slowly. That's just the idea of meetings after meeting after meeting. Well, if they're going to be targeting us, we have to learn to be more nimble and responsive. And to that end, we have to find a balance between making sure we have some institutional knowledge and documentation, and we can make changes without having to be hung up at these meetings. And I think the best approach there really comes down to a failing fast mentality. And Netflix is kind of a pioneer in this area. Just some of the reading I've done there. Really, I like what they're doing. And the idea is you don't not make a change because it might cause a failure. You make the change, but you make sure that you understand the change so that if a failure does occur, you can react to that quickly, and you can limit the impact of that failure. You develop a system that you can maybe make a change on a quarter of the systems so that if a failure occurs, you can manage the impact without causing a total outage on your network. It's basically making your environment a little bit more living and breathing, and sorry about that phone ringing there. But it allows you to be fast and nimble because you are allowed to make changes. You're able to make that change, but you also have enough institutional knowledge that allows you that if a change does cause a negative impact, that people are like, I don't know what happened. Included in that is self-documenting changes. Mm-hmm. Which, what I mean by that is if you're going to make a change to something, there should be a very intuitive way to have that be written to a log, to be documented somewhere, so that there could be a quick understanding of what just happened in that change. That should be built into the processes that you're trying to work on. So that it's not you make a change on system A, and then you have to go to system B and document that, and go to system C to approve the change you just made. That's not intuitive, and oftentimes that won't work. And if you're trying to troubleshoot what goes wrong, which stuff goes wrong even when you work on change management and you have this rigorous process, stuff still goes wrong. When everything's all spread around, nobody knows what to do anyways. Right. So it's about trying to find a balance between self-documenting changes and failing well. Learn how to fail well.
Plan for failure, plan for things not to work out right, mm-hmm. Because again, there's another characteristic of the IT field. It's IT, and that things don't always work out as they're supposed to. They don't always as vendors say they're going to. You're going to have problems. I like that concept. That makes total sense. Even on a small scale, a small project, plan for the server migration or whatever you're doing to go bad. Have a backup plan. Learn.
Know exactly what's going on for the next. And this is something that can be communicated better to business executives. If IT is communicating to business executives that they're not going to fail and they're going to have 100% uptime, that's going to cause unreasonable expectations and distrust from the business you're serving. Mm-hmm. Now, if you say, no, this is how we're going to approach it. If we have a failure, it's going to cause these limited impacts. But because of this, we can move faster. We can address your needs faster. Right. And if you work in that back and forth, not only will there be more realistic expectations from the business, they will engage more with the strategies that you're trying to implement within your IT organization.
Good point. Yeah, and if you're scheduling downtime, take the number you have in your head and double or triple it. And if you're well under that number, then you look like a hero. So set the expectations low and hope for the best.
It's the Star Trek Scotty approach.
I didn't know Star Trek Scotty had that approach.
Yes, he always overestimated the amount of time it would take to fix a warp core. And then when he came in under it, he would be called a miracle worker.
Awesome. We can all take a lesson from Scotty, I guess. All right. So here's a question for you. Big data is relatively new. I mean, it's only been around for a few years. There's a lot of organizations around the central Wisconsin area just getting into it now. So, in your opinion, what are the most important concepts or technologies for someone who's new to big data? Say a third semester student at a technical college who's studying database administration or database development. What are the most important core things for them to become familiar with?
I think databasing in general is a good thing to start with. The caution I would say about database administration, database use, is that there's really a different paradigm with big data. You look at your data differently. Instead of these limited system resources where if you write a query that's wrong, you can take down the system. There's no such thing as a bad query in big data. It just might take too long. I mean, if you want to be more efficient, get your data faster, write a better query. But it's not going to take the system down if you write a bad query. That's a different mentality from the traditional DBA role. If you really want to get into big data, start to understand data. Data science type courses that are available online for free really start putting together how you structure data, how you think about data. But the other component here really is understanding, and this is a personal philosophical opinion, but understanding open source in the open source world. That's going to give you a lot of opportunities to flourish in any number of big data paradigms.
Buzzword.
If you focus on a big data that's Oracle or big data that's Microsoft or big data that's whatever, you're going to get locked into what they have. Mm-hmm. Open source will let you understand the underlying concepts for you to build on. And if you're comfortable with open source, you'll be comfortable installing big data, and you'll be comfortable even going to Oracle or comfortable going to Microsoft because you'll understand what's happening under the hood. So
I guess a follow-up question to that is, with your infrastructure and all the tools that you use, is there anything that you use that isn't open source?
Yes, there is. At our organization, we use a Hadoop distribution called MapR. Their file system is not open source, unlike traditional Hadoop, which is an open source file system. We made the determination to go with their file system because it's really a building block piece that we can remove and put in the open source one if we want. So we're not tied to MapR's file system.
There were just some advantages to that.
There's some distinct performance advantages by going with the MapR file system because of how it was written. And because we can replace it with the open source version without a hitch, that allows us to make the performance preference. Now, our preference normally is to go all open source so that we're never locked in. Mm-hmm. But in that case, we have the option of not being locked in and going with a better performing closed source option. When I say closed source, it doesn't necessarily be paid for. MapR's Hadoop distribution does have a free version that is basically unlimited for a lot of different reasons. They don't have.
You're actually buying the support with it.
We are buying the support with it. So we have full vendor support of our Hadoop infrastructure, which is a lot of what a lot of corporate people will use against open source is that, oh my gosh, you can't get support for it, which is patently untrue, and it's a FUD tactic used by vendors who want you to get to buy their product.
Well said. All right, a couple more questions here. So you're also involved in managing people and the hiring and recruiting process, always looking for those innovative people. What qualities do you look for someone when you're considering bringing them on as part of your team?
Well, it really comes down to how much they pay me in the interview.
How many compliments they give you.
Right. What it comes down to is big data and the roles that are supported by big data require people who are intrinsically passionate about what they're doing. They need to be excited over the field. Like, for me, it's fraud prevention and protecting grandma at home. That's what I'm passionate about. What I've found is I've become passionate over big data, too, because of understanding how much that allows me to do my main function, which is protect grandma, right? So because I'm passionate about those things, I feel like I'm very good at them. So that's exactly what I look for in people who I would potentially hire as an intern or a full-time employee. Examples of that are people who work on things at home, get excited. They wanted to figure something out, so they built it at home. They're excited about the field that they're in because of the opportunity to do something they love, not just as a job. This is something that they intrinsically just want to be doing. And what they know at the given point of an interview isn't necessarily as important as what they have learned and how they learn. Because everyone has different point in time skills. And if you're sitting across from me at an interview desk and your point in time skills don't exactly match what I have, but you've talked about how you've developed your skills in the past, and there is a obvious pattern of skill enhancement and self-starting, the fact that you don't have those skills right when we're talking won't be as detrimental to you as an employee candidate as they would if you had taken all the different certifications because you wanted to get certifications because it would help you get a job. Fundamentally, you don't really understand what's going on. You just took the test and moved on. Those aren't going to help you in an interview with me. Also, I like the ability to laugh at yourself and laugh at the situation that occurs. I often ask some very absurd questions to see how people react when they're all stuffy in an interview and they get asked who is their favorite Starship Enterprise captain of all the different ones and why. You know, if people can think on their feet and enjoy that in the context of a pressure situation, that tells me that when my organization's under attack, people will be able to keep their head because they can be stressed and react to new, strange stimuli that they wouldn't have otherwise had. And that's going to be a benefit to me in the role that I'm doing at Zions Bank.
Good. All right, last question. What's your number one piece of advice for someone who's just entering the IT field, assuming they want all the standard stuff, they want to make decent money, they want to get some satisfaction out of their job and like what they do and not dread work and all those kind of things. What's your number one piece of advice for someone in that position?
Well, you know, I touched on it in the last question where about being passionate and really being a self-starter, but I think that's going to be pretty much a given. If I had to really find one other thing to give people a thing that will help them in their career throughout their career, that's helped me. Believe it or not, I'm a little bit of an introvert when it comes to being social. I wouldn't naturally seek out groups of people to talk about stuff and to be social with. But what I found is I had some opportunities to push that set of skills within my field, within the field that I was passionate about. So I found other people who were way smarter than me and allowed me to have these interactive conversations where I could put my skills out there, not worry if it were as good as they were, but they would help me, I would help them. And I realized that interaction, that socialization, that networking, if you will, helped me so much in my career, both from a motivation standpoint and from a skill standpoint and from an opportunity standpoint. That's what allowed me to find the positions that I needed to find. And thinking about that process of the socialization within the field that you're passionate about, it is no different than a bunch of CEOs going out and having a game of golf. Mm-hmm. They go out there and they say, well, we're doing business out there as we're swinging. And a lot of people are like, you're playing golf. You're not doing business. I understood what that means now. Yeah. They're developing connections that allows them to feel secure in their job because they feel like they have opportunities. They know people who could hire them potentially if something goes wrong in their current job. It allows them to hear new ideas that they wouldn't otherwise hear. It allows people to help others so that they get new ideas and that there's this bond that's formed by that. And all of those things will help push you in your career.
Right. Break down some of those social barriers and that awkwardness, develop rapport with people, and your efficiency working with them goes up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Take that all the way down to the help desk level. Right. Develop a little rapport with your end users, and guess what? You're 5 times more effective all of a sudden. So I completely agree with what you just said, and I had the same reaction initially, hearing about CEOs going out for golf, and back in the day, I guess. So.
Well, and that doesn't mean you have to golf with the CEOs. Some of the groups that I work with, we enjoy sitting around talking about big data, and we sit and typically there's a lot of adult beverages involved, but we sit and we talk shop, and we like doing it because we're passionate about it. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do to have a social interaction. That's how we form those bonds of trust. It's not because we're golfing. CEOs golfing, I don't judge that anymore because that's how they do it. If that's how they need to do it, that's great. That's not how I'm going to do it. That's not how my other introverted friends who are passionate about this type of role will do it. We need to find our own ways to do that, but we need to do that nonetheless. You cannot exist as an island in IT.
Yeah. Yep. Another thing that's kind of coming through your answer here that I'm picking up on is know yourself. Yeah. I get the impression that you know yourself, you've come to know yourself, you know what you're good at, you know how you like to function, you know what type of people you like to work with, mm-hmm. and know that going into a job, because you can take the smartest person in the world, put them in the wrong situation, they're going to fail.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, there has to be some self-reflection going on. Make sure you know what your goals are. Make sure you know where you want to be. I mean, it's not about becoming a CEO at the end of your career or a CIO. I don't ever see myself in an executive management position. I love doing stuff too much. I love being involved in the situations. And with that, I don't want to put myself in a role that takes me away from the hands-on stuff. So, how do I do that? Well, I find the job that I'm in now. And that's what I need to find. It'll be very hard to pull me away from this job because of that.
That's awesome. You've obviously got a lot going on here, a lot of great stuff, and I can tell that you're really passionate about what you do. And I want to thank you for letting me record this today, because I think the information you gave is going to be really useful. If anybody has any questions for John, feel free to send those over to me at burger@mtc.edu, and I can get those questions answered for you.
Great.
Thanks, John. Thanks.